Well, good morning. Hello, Facebook. How are you guys out there doing? And we're waiting for Instagram to pop up here in just a second. Let me see what I can do here. I'm going to try some different things so we can go. I'm going to go like this. Boom. Hi, Instagram. How you guys doing? It's good to have you aboard. Hold on. I'm just kind of going through here. I have a little bit of a snotty nose today, and that is because I have been watching things that I should not watch that are touching and emotional. And that's always a little bit dangerous when you do that. Somebody just posted on their page, a friend of mine, and I just reposted it on my page. Sorry, I'm getting camera set up. A young man on America's Got Talent. And hi, Vicky. Hi, Jim. Hi, Renee. How you guys doing? Hi, Dana. And this young man is autistic and blind. And he gets up and he plays this song on the piano, and it just blows. I mean, I'm sitting here going, oh my God. Kind of wiping my eyes. And you know what, for me though, I really like to feel. I like to cry. I'm a man who likes to cry because I think it shows that you have a heart and that you that things do impact you. You saw it too, Dana. It's absolutely, you guys, I posted it on my page. When we're done here, you should go look at it. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm learning some new stuff that I thought I'd try to share with you just a little bit, and I don't know if this is too, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of trust people. You can kind of do what you want with it. Morning, Tiffany. Morning, Andrea. Hi, Maple. And my friends, we have Instagram over here and we have Facebook over here. So I will try to look at both of you so everybody knows that we love you. But okay, so I woke up to an email this morning, actually a couple emails that were triggers. Okay, so we all have these triggers in our life, right? You have things that people trigger where you feel, maybe it's that you feel they don't trust you, maybe it's you feel like they're questioning you, things like that, or it's stuff that usually means something to us, like you're questioning how I do my job or something, and just but what I'm learning is this is my perception of what they were asking me. Okay, they were perfectly legitimate questions, but the old side of me wanted to go down that road. I went to a workshop last Friday. A guy with a PhD is a psychiatrist, but he's also a guy who understands the chemical, scientific aspects of your brain. And what they understand now is that you have this nervous, you have your stems, what am I trying? This is basically your lower brain. It goes down into here. So you've got this part of your brain. Then you've got a middle section of your brain, and then you've got your cortex up here. So up here is where all the creative good stuff happens, where I'm kind and nice and I can think and things happen, and I'm, like after I watched that video, my cortex, I got serotonin and melatonin and all kinds of chemical response in my head, and I am so creative right now that I could do anything. And I'm at my best. So to do this now is a really good time for me. The middle brain is like a scanner. So when that email came across my computer this morning, my scanner read it, and instantly I went into fight and flight, right down into here in this part, and then not serotonin, cortisol, and that kind of thing kicks in. It starts punching in, and so I start reacting, usually poorly, because we don't think well when we're here. We're either going to run or we're going to fight, and that's where a lot of the people you see online, people live here, so they get stuck in here, and they never get up into that creative part of their brain. And you have to learn that you have to push yourself on that, because we develop these neuro channels that just instantly, so it's like being in a field and always walking the same path. So as soon as something happens to trigger us, bam, right down that field we go. And then we wonder, why do I always respond the same way? Well, this guy says you have to retrain yourself on how to do that. And to do that, you have to take breaths to kind of get that serotonin moving again and stop the production of cortisol. And then you imagine what kind of person you want to be. I mean, who do you want to be in front of your children? That's a great question. You ask yourself, do I want to respond to this email like would I respond to my this way and want my children to respond this way? And so when I got that email this morning, I went through the process. I did the breathing, and I started trying to establish a new trail of behavior, and it's well, I haven't got a response, but it doesn't matter how they respond. For me, what matters is that I was able to go back up into my head, to retrain this, go back up into my upper head. Imagine, Rick, you're a kind guy, you're considerate, you're assertive. That's not a bad thing. And how would you want somebody to respond to you if you wrote that email? And that's exactly how I responded. Opened the door, said, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about that. And I'll tell you what, it sets your mood in such a better place. And honestly, this morning when I got up, I was going, oh, this is going to be a shitty Friday. I just feel it. And I went, whoa, 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 whoa. Life and death is in the power of your tongue. So am I going to speak a shitty Tuesday or Friday into my life? Or am I going to try to, and it's not ignoring it. That doesn't work for me. But it takes more effort for me to create a new pathway than it does to just go down that lazy ass highway like that. And that's what I'm used to doing. So I created a new highway today, and it's not a highway yet. It's like a rural road, and it's not even moving yet. I don't even know where it goes, but it's this rural road. And then I sit down and start punching in, doing my day, getting my checklist off here, getting stuff done. The other thing that this class that I took has done, I used to not sleep very well. I wake up a lot. Hi, Ashley. And in practicing this, ever since last Friday, I have fallen back asleep every night. I wake up, I have to go to the bathroom. I know too much information, but when you're over 50, you do. And then I can't get back to sleep because my brain starts working. So I've been shutting it down, doing the breathing. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out, and it helps me when I say relax. And that it's not just a mind thing, it physically sets chemicals off that can help you to do that. So I have been sleeping. I go back to sleep like 3 times a night. And I'm kind of shocked because I was doing the CBD thing and just getting high and waking up all stoned. And with this, I'm waking up refreshed and I'm actually doing it. You guys, and here's the thing. I think when you get in your zone, when you can work out of this section of your brain, you figure out what you're really good at and what you do well, And I know how to do my job. I know what I do well. There are 1,000 things I do really bad, but there's a couple of things, and it's not in arrogance, but there's a couple of things I do that I know I do. I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not good at, and maybe that's the joy of being nearly 60. And it also helps you, I think. Well, Doug, CBD, I was doing it with THC, and I was mixing it myself, and it wasn't all. I was still trying to get the hang of it. So it's nothing against that. I think I have no problem with people that use CBD in that. It just wasn't working well for me. Dana's over here saying she loves running. And I did go running with a friend of mine today. And he's like this friend. I love this guy. His name's Dave Schmidt, and he's a realtor in town. And so we went running. How we met was I was running one day, and I passed him, and then I went around the other bike path, and I passed him again, and I went, huh. And then later on, he wrote me and said, hey, you're Rick Dancer, right? And I went, yeah. And he says, I saw you running today. And I said, well, you want to go run with me? So we started running for about a year together and became friends. And we haven't seen each other for a while, but he called me up yesterday and said, let's go running. And so this is what I like about being me. And if you take this as arrogant, then you can. I don't care. That's what you want to do. But this is what I really like about being me. When people are around me, they get something out of that. Because I ask a lot of questions, and I truly like people. And so he says, I really like being around you. I think better when I'm around you. And you ask good questions, and you give me things to think about. And so what David, though, when we used to run, if it's 50 degrees, he takes his shirt off. And so when I was with him, it's like, well, I'm taking my shirt off. So he's my topless running friend. And so we did a topless run. I took a picture, put it on Instagram and Facebook, and he got a job out of it. some lady comes on because I said he's a great realtor, because he is. And somebody came on and she said, I need somebody, my friend needs somebody to sell his house. So Dave now got a job, and I'm going, hey, this is a whole new marketing thing. We're just going to do chestless marketing. You know? So here's another great thing, because a friend of mine just wrote me. Her name's Connie Feldman, and she does investments for people, and she's awesome. She's in my group. And Connie, you know, we're always trying to get people to come into our group and networking group, because we're friends. And so I took this friend of mine named Chad. He's an accountant in town, young guy, but I think he needs to get connected, and I was trying to help him, so he came to our group. Well, at 9 o'clock, he calls me and he's like, dude, I just had a meeting with that Connie Feldman from your group. She's so nice. She took me out to coffee. He was so impressed because she gave a damn and was interested in meeting with him and talking to him. And he was so thrilled about it. I wrote her an email and said, Connie, thank you so much. It's so nice to have friends who are not like you, but friends who have the same commitment to human beings. Because here's the bottom line. There's a lot of shit online. There's a lot of nasty people out there. Just a lot of angry people working at this part of their brain. And they can never, everything is a fight or a flight to them. And don't be that, okay? I don't want to be that. And we should all be trying our hardest to operate out of our creative, interesting, and being our best at what we do. And when you're working out of here, you can't work. There's nothing down here to go, oh yeah, people treat me like that sometimes. Oh yeah, people do this. Up here, it's all fresh and new, and I can be myself, or help figure out who I am. And I'm a guy who loves to connect people. That's why I do this. I mean, there's people that watch and they make fun of me and all that kind of stuff. I just don't care. This is when I'm in my element, when I'm doing my job, and when I'm. This afternoon at 2 o'clock, the whole purpose of doing this was to kind of tell you. A few months ago, we did something with Brandon Donovan, a veteran who was starving to death because the VA hospital wouldn't take care of him. I did a story on him. I did a show, and now he got help. He went and had this surgery, and it's been hell. But he's coming on at 2 o'clock today. Buck Sanitary Service is my sponsor for the Buck Stops here, and he's going to talk with us about how he's doing. And this guy's a veteran and the nicest guy, and he's become part of my world. And I want you guys to meet him and see how things happen. But his name is Brandon, and we treated him like shit. The VA hospital treated him like dirt, and now, in fact, he was on the show. He says, I'm going to wait out until they pay for this. I go, no, you're not. You're going to go get help. This is not a martyr syndrome thing. So he goes and gets the surgery. It was super expensive. He'll tell us that today at 2 on my Get Real page. Not on this page, but on Get Real with Rick Dancer. But when I do these kind of things, I do it on my personal page because this is personal. And I say things that are really meaningful to me. And so, let people make fun of us. It's okay. What other people think of me is none of my business. What other people think of you is not your business. It's what you think of you. And if you are so caught up in thinking about what other people think of you and what they might be thinking or how they might judge you, then you can't be the person you're supposed to be, living in your upper cortex of your brain where all the good shit happens. I met a guy yesterday, Dan Buckles. He's a former captain with the Sheriff's Department. And this guy is creating a place at the Old Forest Work Camp out in Alma, which is out by off Wolf Creek. He's using this old prison and going to create a homeless, it's not a shelter, but it's a place for homeless veterans to live and work and get better, and mental health counseling. And they're going to grow gardens and grow their food, and they're going to have animals. They already have 5 goats out there. And so we took him through the car wash, and then in 2 weeks, I'm going to go out there and do a live show with them. You guys, this is the rubber hits the road crap. People can bitch all they want and talk about this is what we should do and what we shouldn't do. Love is an action word. And Dan loves these people. He loves veterans and wants to help. One out of 3 veterans in the state of Oregon, maybe it's Lane County, will commit suicide. That's completely unacceptable. And we've got people that went and fought for us, and it was D-Day. So here's the best part of the whole story. It was D-Day, and I didn't even know it when I set up the story. So I'm doing a story on D-Day about veterans and what we're going to do in our county to help them. Now, see, that's the magic. You know what I mean? I think if you flow in life, if you just kind of let it flow, and don't over plan, that then you get those little surprises like that. Those are the best moments to me, is when I get that little surprise, that thing that says, and you know, I'm not trying to be on the religious, the veterans thing, Anna, on the veterans thing. If you go to my Get Real page, it was yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday that we did it. It's at the car wash, and you'll find it. Yeah, and you'll find more, because I'm going to be doing more on it. We'll be out there doing more on it. So anyway, I guess my point is, you can't live down here. You can't live in anger and frustration and being pissed off. And our perception, I think that's what I see the most online that really triggers me and bothers me. I think that we get into, and I'm just as guilty as you are, we get in too many arguments with people when our perception is, you can't change someone's perception. It's not your job. It's not our job. And I have stopped. I think for me, one of the most powerful things that's happened to me is I cannot make you understand me, and that's okay. You don't have to, because then you don't have to like me. And then when people make rude comments to me, I can let them fly off, because I'm pretty public and I'm pretty out there sometimes. And so people love to make fun of me, and great, I'm happy for them. And they love to hate you, because when you speak the truth as you see it, rather than what culture's taught us to do is to yell at people and try to shut them up. The other day, someone tried to get me out of a conversation we were talking about, had nothing to do with race whatsoever. It had to do with things going on in our culture. And this person said I didn't understand because of my white privilege and because of my age, basically, because I'm a baby boomer. And to which I responded, so you're discounting my opinion because of my race, the color of my skin, and my age. So that would be racism, and that would be ageism. And I'm pretty sure both are illegal and unacceptable. They're unacceptable to me. And this person said, you're not a race. It's like, bullshit. I'm a race. I'm a white guy, and I can't help it. This is who I am. But the fact that I'm white does not mean you get to kick me out of the conversation. Now, does it mean that I'm sorry, my neighbor's kind of loud. Does it mean that that I may have had advantages that other people don't have? Sure, I'm open to that. I get that. But don't tell me that I can't be involved in a conversation, or that I don't understand because of my color. I mean, can you imagine what would happen if I said that, which I never would, and I'm even careful about what I'm saying here. I would never say that. I have so many friends in different ethnic communities. I would never say that. If I did, I would lose my livelihood, everything would be gone. And yet, it's still, now it's okay for people to do that to me, they think. Doesn't work that way. Sorry, can't do that. I also love all the people out there who say they have compassion for people, or this or that issue or something. We need to learn how to use words properly. Good God, go look up the meaning of a word before you utter it out of your mouth. It's like, what's crazy is the word compassion means suffer with. It doesn't mean feel sorry for. You can feel sorry for someone, but use the right word. Don't tell me you're compassionate unless you're truly suffering with that person. Dan Buchholz is suffering with those veterans because he's really out there doing something. Compassion is an action word. It's not a feeling, you know? And I think we get this all mixed up. Love is a feeling, but it's also an action word. So if you love someone and you don't do shit, you don't love them. I mean, maybe you have this big happy feeling about it, but if you're not doing something, love is a doing. It means, you know, for me, it's washing the dishes, and I'm not that good at this. My wife likes me to wash the dishes. I'm doing that. I'm getting better at texting and saying, hey, she's going in today for some dental work and doing. I mean, I'm getting better at that. I have to try though. I have to create a new neural path to get that going on. But you know, if we're going to truly have compassion, then we must suffer with people. Otherwise, we can call it what it is. It's feeling sorry for, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think sometimes we abdicate, we get apathetic because we allow people. Nancy, I know love is also a noun, but I don't live in nouns. Love is, if there's no action, then it doesn't work. For me, this is my opinion. You can do it as you wish. This is my page, and I get to do what I want on here. But if I'm going to love someone, there has to be some kind of action with it. It can't just be, for me. But I'm that way with community. You can live in a community. Community can be a noun, but you can live in a community. But to me, it's a verb. You have to be active. Otherwise, you're just sucking off a community. If you're not participating in the community, you're sucking off of it. You're like a leech. That'll piss some people off. But I mean, really, we have people say, yeah, this is my community. Well, then what are you doing? How are you involved in that? It doesn't mean you have to be involved in the city council. I would never do that. And it's individual. I don't think I'm not here to tell you how to be active, but I think this is my community. This is how I'm involved in this community. So when people try to take my voice away because the color of my skin, and that ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna work for me, because this is my community activism and action and just to do what I do. So anyway, that's my point. So it's easy to hide behind a computer and get away with it. I can't stand people like that. There's a ton, but yeah, and I get sucked in too. We all do. But I think it's really learning. It's really learning just to figure out what you and the people around you. Yeah, and you can only have a circle of people so big, and then there's going to be people there's going to always be people that hate you. We say we're a culture where we don't hate and hate. We're a culture that hates, and it doesn't make it right. But I've had more hate come to me from the people who are preaching against hate. It's so hypocritical, but I love hypocrisy because it's so telling of people. I hate hypocrisy, but what I love about it is people don't see it in themselves, and other people. The problem is other people do, and I'm sure I have hypocrisy in my life as well. But I always try to clean that out. I like to be called out by my friends. That's another thing. When you try to educate someone or tell someone, I get so many people on here who do not know me from anyone. They think they know me, but they'll come on and try to correct me. I had a lady the other day tell me that I wasn't a very good Christian because she says she used to like me, but she sees me doing things that are not Christian, and she thinks I'm a bad example of a Christian. And I said, you know what? You're right. I'm a horrible Christian. Because I don't consider myself a Christian. I consider myself a guy who tries to follow Christ. And there's a huge difference. Christians are in dogma. They follow their doctrine that is much of it is man-made. They don't follow the Torah, which is, they actually say they're following God, but they don't look at the Torah and what God says to do. They ignore it. And they go do what this new doctrine of their church tells them what to do. So her criticizing me, and I said, I wonder what other people are thinking who don't like Christians when you say something like that maybe that wouldn't be what God would want you to look like. I'm just asking you. She was really mad, didn't understand, which is another good lesson in terms of people understanding what's going on. So there's Scott over here. So Scott from Bucks Sanitary Service just joined us on Instagram over here. And I gotta thank Scott, because Scott, today is the day at 2 o'clock that Brandon Donovan, our veteran, is going to be on the Get Real show on Get Real with Rick Dancer, and it's sponsored by Buck Sanitary Service, because the show is called The Buck Stops Here, and Scott is awesome about letting me come up with great stories, and he sponsors it, because that's how he gets involved one of the ways he gets involved in the community is by helping to sponsor that. So we get to see cool stuff because of a lot of really great clients that I have, and he's one of them. So David Schmidt over here, he and I went bare-chested running today, and I think we got him a job. So David, I'm thinking I'm working for you now. I think we can come up with a whole new campaign, for real estate with bare-chested men running in the morning. We'll keep people abreast of the situation, because men do have breasts too, just so you guys know. I mean, it's true. Some of you are going to deny that, but it is true. Men and women both have breasts. One works, one doesn't. Thanks, Scott, and I won't embarrass you, but I really do appreciate what you do. Hi, Andy. How are you out there? Hi, Matt. Matt is my good friend from up the river, and he edits stuff. My McKinsey Matt. So anyway, I got to move, because I'm going to head out of here and go grab something. But we will be back at 2 o'clock over on my other page. Yeah, David says, for you guys over here, David says he's working on a bare-chested business card. You guys, here's the last thing I would leave with you. Get out of your comfort zone. I mean, David and I met because we were running and we didn't know each other, and he ran by me and then later emailed me and said, hey, I ran by you this morning. So I said, why don't you come running with me? And from that, we became friends. We haven't seen each other for a few years, online and stuff. But today we reconnected and went running again. And I think you just have to let different people in your life. I got a new guy who's working with me on some photography. Saw me online, called up, 20-year-old kid, Sebastian, neatest kid. He's a Latino guy, super cool. Went with me yesterday to get my haircut. And I said, come in with me and put together a video for me. Let's see what you do. And he's so thrilled to do that. I just met him. This is how it works. I mean, you don't have to be around people that you think are like you. You have to be around people that are going to help bring out who you really are. And that means taking some chances and doing some things, hanging out with people that look like you or act like you. I mean, we do not want to be a bunch of people who only hang out and be around people that look just like us. And if we stop people from being involved in conversations because of the color of their skin, their sexual orientation, their marriage status, their Christian status, their religious status, or anything like that, you're going to be the driest, most boring, one-sided, narcissistic idiot that anyone could ever meet. So again, I will be involved in that conversation, and yes, I am a white man, and yes, I am 60 years old at the end of this month, and that gives me a little bit of sage status. And you don't kick Moses out of the conversation. So, and you can try, and you can do whatever you want to do, but I do have a lower brain stem, and I will fight, not flight, from that. If we were all alike, it would be pretty boring, wouldn't it, Nancy? It would be so dull. But yet, and we say that, and I believe you, I'm not picking on you, but these very people who say no, and they want all of us to agree on, who we're voting for and who's good and who's bad, and culture's going to decide what's good and what's bad. Every time somebody tells me something's really bad, if I stand back and watch for a while, I find that there's some good in that. And it's kind of interesting when you say, and everybody's scared, and watch fear, because fear comes from right in here. When you're getting that cortisol zapping into you, and they get fearful, and then they do really dumbass things. We all do, but man, when it's public like that, and so they start yelling at people saying, this person's going to ruin the world, and all of a sudden I see things kind of working. And I'm going, I guess they were wrong. And I take nothing that the media says for true. I don't think they're, I just don't believe it anymore. I've seen too much. I've been there, and now I've seen it, I experience it, I watch it, and I'm going, you're just trying to get people afraid. And I want to do the opposite, is make people not afraid to live. Don't be afraid of what they take, because fear, you'll make horrible decisions. And get past that, get up into that upper cortex, and that's where the good stuff happens. All right? So tune in again at 2, if you would, on over on Get Real with Rick Dancer for the buck stops here. And you're gonna hear from an amazing, thank you, Nancy, an amazing guy that'll just blow your socks away. So for my birthday, guess what I'm doing? Are you guessing? Are you just watching? Is this a one-sided conversation? Are you guys just here just let me drone on and this is what you're gonna do? So anyway, my wife is taking me on a surprise road trip. And somehow my boys are gonna meet us, and I don't know, but I don't know where we're going. And I don't wanna know. So she's figuring this all out. She's really smart about it. And she's taking me somewhere. We're gonna do it in like 2 weeks. We'll probably be doing some live stuff on the way and stuff like that. But she's taking us out. So that's why I'm gonna do my 60th birthday. And then I finish next week on Thursday, I finish my tattoo. So the second part of my tattoo will be live over on Get Real with Rick Dancer. I know Hike, Oregon. Doesn't that sound fun? So I don't know. I honestly don't know where we're going. I know one spot because we're trying to set up an Explore Oregon thing while we're there. Oh God, Schmid, you were such an asshole. Over here on my dear friend Bare-Chested Dave. That's his new name, Bare-Chested Dave. He writes on here, she's dropping you off at an assisted living home. And Dave, you know what else? You know what else she's doing? You're gonna be my new caretaker when I hit 60. You're gonna be my depends changer. So I will have a call button, and I'm just gonna call you. And when I dirty my pants, my underwear, my things, you're gonna come over and wipe my ass. Okay, Dave's making me be. Could you see this? My wife goes, "Yeah, honey, I'm gonna take you on a surprise trip." And then she drops me off at a senior living center, and she goes off with some cute guy. And it wouldn't be you, David, because I said cute. I'll push you in a wheelchair when you can't run anymore. Yeah, you might be in the wheelchair before me, dumbass. You guys, I try not, depends. Cute, Brian. Really super cute. He's throwing out the depends thing. The adult diapers. All right, you guys are gonna get me in trouble. Okay, I gotta go. So I gotta end that one. Bye guys, bye Instagrammers. In live video and share. Okay, and then now I get rid of you people. Tanya, we were waiting for you, and now you show up and we're done. God, are you late to everything? Go back and watch it. This could go on forever. Jennifer, it's about time you showed up. We have been on here. Jennifer and Tanya are late to the party. And bye Rick, bye Brian. 2 p.m. to Get Real, right? Yeah, 2 p.m. on Get Real, and we will knock your socks up. And also go to my page and look at that look at that young man playing the piano. It was great. Thanks, Trevor. See you, buddy. Love you guys.